In this video, I'll be sharing 5 Stalker films that I personally find a good watch. I tried to include movies that came from completely different years to satisfy any and all preferences for horror movies. Films like this lean more towards thriller than horror, but that doesn't make him any less scary or good or even nerve-wracking. If anything, it could be more affecting towards the audience if made right. I think it's because films like these come closer to one's everyday life. Anyone can be stalked or obsessed over. It's chilling. It's real life. The question is, how far would a stalker go? P2 is a 2007 film that follows a businesswoman that gets locked in a garage on Christmas Eve when she leaves late from work. Here, she faces a great threat from the security guard, who is a psychopath. I'm not gonna lie, this movie does sound like it could go wrong if not executed the right way. However, its production is very entertaining. Even the writing and the characters aren't typical. They're not expected. The whole movie is filmed in a parking lot garage, but it's done in a way where it's not boring or even obvious that the setting is limited. All in all, based on how simple it may seem, P2 was very nicely and originally created. The suspense also keeps you very interested, along with the quite amount of gore scenes, actually, which definitely shocked me. Anyways, this is a hidden gem, so if you haven't watched it, I definitely recommend it. As a serial killer stalks the city, a young actress who just moved to town with her boyfriend notices a mysterious stranger watching her from across the street. This is a more recent movie, released in June of 2022, and I really enjoyed watching this movie. The atmosphere to this movie definitely gives an eeriness to it, paired with very good acting performances, especially from the main actress, Micah Monroe. This is also the same actress that played in It Follows, so here you get to see more of what she's capable of in terms of acting. As she slowly falls into insanity and paranoia, the audience does too. I appreciate the touch of psychological horror. Is she really being followed, or is she batshit crazy? Not to mention the very pleasing cinematography. I was very impressed with that. A married couple, Simon and Robin, run into Gordo, an old acquaintance. Things take a turn when Gordo begins to drop unannounced at their house and overwhelms them with mysterious gifts. Gordo is definitely an interesting character in my eyes. He's one you fear, yet sometimes feel bad for. This thriller bases its fear factor mostly on psychological aspects. At first, he just seems like an awkward kind of guy, but soon, the viewer sees that Gordo begins to have a strain on the marriage through his stalking and bringing up past situations. This movie is good at slowly revealing information. Just as Robin, the wife, is being isolated from the truth, so are we. Therefore, when we do find out, we feel just as betrayed as she does.
Play Misty for me.
Popular radio show host Dave becomes restless in his relationship with his girlfriend. Impulsively, he sleeps with another woman he meets at a bar. After the fact, he finds out that she was not an anonymous hookup, but an obsessive fan who called in repeatedly to request he play the song Misty. The 70s is personally my favorite decade of film, more specifically horror. Play Misty for me is a great example of why I love them so much. Firstly, the plot is very good. Yes, it is easily predictable at most times, but I still enjoyed watching it. I mean, how could you not with Clint Eastwood? Like, come on. However, aside from the plot, the cinematography is incredibly beautiful, one of the best I've ever seen. Maybe my opinion is mostly subjective, as I love nature, but I'm sure anyone would enjoy it. Side note, I want to steal his house. I just want to steal his house. Look at this.
Solid silicone.
Also, with this movie, every time the crazy bitch screams, the volume like shoots up times 10, so be careful of that. It's kind of funny. She's crazy. I mean, obviously. A writer moves to his lakeside cabin, Solitude. However, a psychotic stalker blames him for plagiarizing his work. Everyone loves a Johnny Depp movie. But just not everyone knows about this movie. This is for sure a hidden gem that not a lot of people talk about. Secret Window is very compelling and entertaining to watch, especially when all the pieces come together. What I love about this one is you begin to see many hints and signs when you rewatch it a second time, already knowing the ending. So those are just a few Stalker movies that I can recommend. There are plenty more where that came from. I can make another one if anyone really cares about that. Although not necessarily horror movies, it still displays the unsettling reality of obsession. It can honestly be just as scary as any haunting or jump scare. They use tactics to slowly but surely use the plot to freak you the fuck out.